What's up, guys? So check it out. This is your boy J Reed for J Reed's Love of Cars. Today we are going to answer the question, how do you know your Corvette build is done? Alright, so let's dive right into it. Now, why did this question come about? Because I am always thinking of the next thing that I want to do to my Corvette. So I'm curious if there's anybody else out there that kind of feel this same way. Let me put it into perspective. I've had my '60s Corvette for a good while now, and every year I've done modifications. And now I'm at the point to where the modifications are getting more and more expensive to make a smaller amount of improvement. So what do I mean by that? We're supercharged. We got cam in it. We have a cam in it. We got nitrous on it. We got a fuel system. We got wheels. We got torque tube rebuild. What else I got done? Some more stuff done to it. Essentially, it's at the point now to where any modification that I do is starting to not make really sense, real good sense. Now, if you're a car guy, you already know that a lot of the stuff that we do is not going to make sense anyway. It's just not going to make sense, but we do it anyway because it's fun. But what do you do when it starts to really not make any sense? I'm going to give you an example. I'm trying to think of what I want to do next. I really want to make like 1,000 horsepower. Right now I'm at 800. In order to get me to 1,000 horsepower, fairly reliable, I'll need to rebuild the trans and really need to rebuild the engine in order to take it. I already have nitrous. I have the power adders on my car to easily make it, but it will not make it reliable. So what do I have to do? Like I said, new transmission, new engine. So that alone would almost pretty much cost me as much as all of the modifications I put into it. I just can't see doing that. I just can't see doing it. So I don't know how I'm going to meet that goal. And let's face it, my '60s Corvette is a 2010. It's getting to the point to where you put so much money into it, you don't want to drive it. Because if you have an accident in it, guess what? It's going to be hella expensive to fix. And who wants to spend that type of money again because you want to go out and race it? This is where you have to make a decision. How deep are you into modifying your car? You have to come to the conclusion at some point that enough is enough. And essentially, it's going to boil down to how deep are your pockets? You have to answer that question because that's going to determine how far are you willing to go. Me, I am at my limit. Give you another example. I want to put a shark bar in the car. I want to get race seats and a harness. Now, when I do these particular things, yes, I could do the work, but I choose to take it to a shop because I know it will be done right. The problem with that is, just to put 2 race seats in there, harness bar, harness, and do it correctly, mounts, because it's going to take mounts, it's going to run me almost $6 grand. So essentially it's just $6 grand for seats. No bueno. I'm not willing to do it. Do I have it? Yes, I could. I could do it easily. But that is a heck of a cost for absolutely nothing. Now granted, the seats are lighter, all of that, but I was telling my wife, and you know what, she made a very good point. I said, yeah, I'm gonna put race seats in, I'm gonna do this, and she just looked at me and was like, why would you do that? You don't even race that much. And you know what, I didn't have too much to say about that because she was 100% absolutely true. I don't go to the track enough. I barely even went last year. And there's several reasons behind that. Number one, I need to get a belly pan. I've said that before because the track requires it if you go a certain speed. Number two, my car is pretty much at, how can I put it? It's really pretty much at the max capacity to where eventually something is going to break. And usually when stuff breaks, it's going to be expensive. And in my mind, I'm not ready to spend money on repairs because just like everyone else, you want to spend money on go fast parts, not go fix parts. That's not fun. I don't want to spend $2 grand to get something fixed. I want to spend $2 grand to add something to it. But we've gotten to the point to where the cost is not meeting the reward. So I say all of that to say this: if you have a Corvette, or any car for that matter, that you've been modifying, and it's taking you weeks or sometimes even months to decide on your next move because you keep looking at the cost factor and you just can't bring yourself to spend that type of money, it may be time for you to either get another project car, which would kind of defeat the purpose, or just lay back in the cut and enjoy what you have. So I am pretty much at the point, I say this now, a couple more videos, I may be saying something else, but I'm pretty much at the point where I need to just enjoy the car as it is, because I can't afford to be fixing something that's going to cost me $2,000 or $3,000 to fix every time it breaks. These cars, they're old, but they aren't cheap. They aren't cheap to repair. They're not. They are reliable. They are fun. If you do these modifications right, hire the right people to do them, or if you really know what you're doing, do it yourself. Y'all let me know in the comments, what is your stopping point? Y'all let me know in the comments, what are your stopping points? I'm curious to see if it's the same as mine. This your boy.